Everything you need to know to protect your family and your home. Now, Monsoon 2007, preparing for the storms. Brought to you by Elastec and TEP.
Hello and welcome to KGUN9 On Your Side's Monsoon 2007, preparing for the storms. I'm Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen. Southern Arizona's heating up fast, and with the arrival of this hot weather, the monsoon isn't far behind.
Hello, I'm Len Johnson. All of us at KGUN9 On Your Side have been working hard to prepare you so that you know what to do when the monsoon strikes.
I'm meteorologist Bill Harris. Tonight we've gathered everything you need to know about these upcoming storms. We have your complete monsoon coverage.
When to expect the monsoon, safety tips to follow, what the future holds for these storms, and much more. Monsoon 2007, preparing for the storms. We've covered all the bases.
Right now, the desert is bone dry. Washes are empty, no signs of clouds or water. But take a look at what happens once the monsoon strikes. The dry wash becomes a raging river in just a matter of seconds. Without warning, the wash becomes a very dangerous place. It didn't rain directly over this Midtown wash, but storms on Tucson's northeast side brought rainwater pouring in. While the monsoon rain is welcome throughout southern Arizona, it's also known to unleash its fury. Last year's monsoon stormed through neighborhoods and uprooted lives. At 22nd and Kolb, the wild weather brought motorists to a screeching halt when Mother Nature turned the parking lot into a junkyard. Violent winds sent this billboard slamming into cars. And in Green Valley, this huge pine tree came crashing down on a car, uprooting benches and bending light posts. But the storm didn't stop there. It ripped this massive eucalyptus right out of the ground and dropped it within inches of this home. And we can't forget the monsoon's wrath on Sabino Canyon. Storms poured through the canyon, flooding trails and picnic areas, washing out bridges and parts of the roadway. The good news? After months of cleaning and repairing, all of Sabino Canyon is now available for us to enjoy. The monsoon proved torrential to a Tucson family when a nearby wash flooded their home. Water rushed onto the Bauerlein's property, making it look like a giant black ocean. Inside, floodwaters turned the home into a muddy mess. And on the northwest side, the monsoon flooded out this family. Michelle and Larry Fry got a wet awakening when water from a nearby wash poured through their back gate and into their home. A river runs through it in this case. Frank Spears' primary form of transportation for several days, his ATV. That's because monsoon flooding made access to his home near Benson almost impossible.
So here's how the dictionary defines the word monsoon. 1. A wind blowing part of the year from one direction, alternating with a wind from the opposite direction. Or 2. A periodic wind in various latitudes in the Indian Ocean and southern Asia, generally which blows from the southwest from the latter part of April to the middle of October, and from the northeast from about the middle of October to April. Or the season of the southwest monsoon in India and adjacent countries, which is a season of heavy rainfall, i.e. the rainy season. Or we could say it's something we all prepare for once southern Arizona hits 100 degrees. Erin?
You know, it's a common misconception that a monsoon is one single thunderstorm with lots of lightning, heavy rain, and flooded streets. But actually, the word monsoon simply means a seasonal shift of winds. And when we're talking about the Mexican monsoon, which is the one that impacts southern Arizona, we mean our wind shifts from a westerly flow to an easterly flow. And that happens because of a ridge of high pressure in its position. Normally, when we're not in the monsoon, a ridge of high pressure develops across central and northern Mexico. The clockwise flow around that brings on a dry northwesterly flow right across Arizona and southeast Arizona in particular, which doesn't allow for much moisture to move into our neck of the woods. However, as we make our way toward monsoon, our high pressure shifts. It tracks to the northeast, finds itself a home across New Mexico and western Texas. The clockwise flow with that then taps into moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, pushes it right across the spine of the Sierra Madres and into southeast Arizona. That increase in moisture helps to lift our dew point temperature. And when that average daily dew point is 54 degrees or higher for 3 days in a row, we officially declare the monsoon here.
Many people often wonder why some areas seem to get hit really hard by monsoon thunderstorms, while other areas not so much. Is it a fluke, or is there actual scientific evidence that proves you might be living in an area that's more likely to see surging washes than your nearby neighbor? Every year from July to September, Mother Nature proves to southern Arizona why she's a force to be reckoned with. But the question is, are you more likely to see this in one area versus another?
If you stand outside, you are in danger of being struck by lightning. It doesn't matter if you're near a tree or a tall object or a short object or you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can be struck by lightning. It does not matter.
And when it comes to flash flooding, the whole city is vulnerable.
If you get into the mountain areas, like we saw last year in Sabino Canyon, excessive rainfall can not only produce flash flooding, but you can actually produce rock slides. In the city itself or in the valleys, we have hundreds of washes that crisscross the city, and all of those and any of those can flood during the flash flood.
While there's scientific evidence that proves the majority of all thunderstorms develop right around the mountains, where it heads is anyone's guess.
A lot of people think that, you know, they're not in the rain, they're not close to that storm, that they're going to be safe.
So to answer the question of where you're more likely to see more thunder, lightning, and flooding, the bottom line, it could be anywhere. Aaron, back to you.
Check out this late summer storm that hit fast and hard on the Tucson's east side last year. Streets swelled with water, cars stalled in floods. One after another, police cruisers pushed the vehicles out. The water came on so fast, larger roads flooded too. Major intersections simply sloppy. Rushing water can prove very dangerous to those venturing too close. Take a look at this home video from last August. In Graham County's Fort Thomas, 6 children entered a swollen wash. 5 kids got out, but the water carried 7-year-old Allison Persley for more than a mile. Somehow the girl managed to pull herself out of the wash before it reached the river. She reached for a stick her father calls the finger of God.
Oh, it's totally a miracle. There's no doubt in my mind.
Later that day, Allison was back in the water, enjoying the swimming pool with friends and family.
Now, the monsoon can be a breathtaking light show, but a pleasant drive on a partly cloudy afternoon can almost instantly turn into a life-threatening race with the forces of nature. After years and years of costly swift water rescues, the state passed the stupid motorist law.
This happens every year. Motorists think they have more than enough clearance to cross a flooded wash, but they don't. Look how quickly the trickle in this wash turns into a deadly torrent. That's why the Arizona legislature passed the stupid motorist law. It says any motorist who drives around barricades to enter a flooded stretch of roadway may be charged for the cost of the rescue.
Now, water levels of less than a foot can be dangerous. 2 feet of water will lift most vehicles. If you have 4-wheel drive, it doesn't matter. Your vehicle and everything in it could get sucked right into the river.
Here's how the stupid motorist law works. The driver has to ignore barricades and water must be covering the road. A rescue must take place. The driver has to pay for all rescue expenses and other costs up to an additional $2,000. What do people who risk their lives for a living want you to know?
We want people to take their time when the monsoons hit and enjoy the monsoon. It's a beautiful time of year. Don't put your lives in danger, don't put your children's lives in danger, and don't put the rescuers' lives in danger. Stay out of the wash when there's water in them.
As a rule, the city of Tucson does not use the law to recoup rescue costs, but private agencies like Rural Metro do. Follow Paul's advice. It might save you some money, and it could save your life. Back to you, Aaron.
The monsoon expected to hit southern Arizona in early July. What the future holds for the storms and how global warming plays into its forecast. Puddles of water are inevitable after a monsoon rain, but with water comes mosquitoes, along with the potential for West Nile virus. Steps you can take to prevent this deadly disease. Stay with us. KGUN9 on your side's Monsoon 2007, preparing for the storms. We'll be right back.